Hey guys, we're gonna make
And it's one of his guys,
today.
Paul. Paulie was a handsome guy, had more girls, uh, uh, but he was a weightlifter. And we found out later on, he used steroids back in the day, and they shared needles. So the 1 out of 30 was Paulie, and he matched. So he gave his HIV tainted blood to Greg, and Greg became HIV. Okay.
Did anyone know that?
At first, no, they kept it to themselves. After he got home from the hospital, and I was with him every day, helping him, nursing him along with Linda. And one day he calls me in, and him and Linda are sitting at the table. And they sit me down, and the first thing he tells me is, I want you to know you have absolutely nothing to worry about. He said, something happening when I was in the hospital. And that's where it came from. Because I didn't know what he was talking about. And he told me that he was infected with HIV when he was in the hospital.
Are these the right bags?
I remember crying.
You know,
so
the
bad.
ones over there too.
It seems like that's too big.
And, you know, there was a strange closeness there too, because I remember him telling me, you know, I told his oldest kids,
This is our
he said,
bags.
you're the only one that cried.
Alright.
I
And
mean,
these are a lot smaller.
that's a little peculiar to his day. But, you know, I was supposed to be like a son. It was very, it was bad news. And I
Missouri
felt
Feed
bad.
Food.com.
But that's, you know, to get to the point, that's where he got the,
Buy
AIDS,
some.
and,
Very good quality.
ultimately,
Made in USA.
he lasted a lot longer than they thought. He made it through the whole war, and, which we're getting to, and, into prison. Even, you know, he lasted in prison longer than they thought.
By 1991, that's when the third
Right.
War started.
Right.
So talk about the start.
Okay, well, that's a very important point, because, you know, just the general public or readings or people that weren't involved don't realize that the war started sooner, way sooner, although there was no shooting. There was tensions after Vic Arena became the acting boss. Some people weren't happy with that, but they had to listen. Because it was Junior's wishes, Junior Person. So as time goes on, and this is what I was talking about, where I was proposed, there was about a year or two where Vic Arena, in 87, 86, 87, 88, was only straightening guys out, making guys, bringing them in his area, Queens and Long Island. He wasn't making Brooklyn guys anymore. He was making captains, bumping good fellas up, giving them their stripes. Again, that was closer to him, closer to Queens. So we saw the power they had. We were talking about it with our captains, who were Junior Persico's nephews and sons and brothers. But there was nothing serious that happened. About 88, give or take, maybe even 89. And like I said, there's a lot of rumblings. There's rumblings. There's bodies turning up that were excused as somebody didn't make a payment or he was disrespectful, but it was more power play. And Greg was telling me this, you know. And in hindsight, as we know, he had information. So the things he was telling me were accurate. So there's a very historic meeting. He gets a call. Actually, the guy comes to the club that I know, Chips, and tells me that Jimmy, who's Jimmy Angelino, our official consigliere for many, many years, would like to see Greg tonight at his club. So I bring the message to Greg. I get the call with Greg that night, and I bring him to Jimmy's club. Now, Jimmy was the type of consigliere that, what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be trusted by all the men. Your job is to save lives. So if they call you to a meeting, you have no problem going. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, you go there knowing you're not going to be killed. Okay? And that's the feeling everybody had about you. You trust me. So we go to this meeting, and I'm about to walk away with Chips. But Greg, he's always smart. He's always that step ahead. He says, Larry, you can stay. He says, Jimmy, you don't mind, do you? And nobody did disagree with Greg. He says, no, Larry can stay. So I'm standing there with him, and they're talking, and Jimmy explains to Greg that Vic Arena asked him who he would side with if he decided to take the family position officially. We need all the captains unanimously. So Greg, I'm thinking to myself, this guy just got out of the hospital after 2 months, he's half dead, he probably doesn't even know what's going on. He looks at Jimmy, he says, Jimmy, he says, I am sick, I'm half dead. He says, I will line up wherever the chips are. I will stay in line. He couldn't take the position. So Jimmy says, all right, Greg, we'll get back to you,
This stuff
whatever.
just
We
smells
drive
hot.
off. Now I was close enough to Greg to ask, I said, Greg, why did you defend yourself? And he looks at me and he says, if I would have said yes, that I would back Vic. Jimmy is the family consigliere. If he goes back to Junior and says that Vic is recruited Greg and Greg is going, Greg's dead. Okay? If he says no, I will not, Jimmy's gonna tell Vic, Greg won't come over. Vic has to kill him. And he digested this like that. So now I'm saying to myself, wow,
Oh, we're basically
what treachery.
Get this hammer.
Less than 2 weeks later, Jimmy's disappeared. Nobody knows where Jimmy is. You don't kill consigliers. It's taboo. It's almost worse than killing police. Okay, so, no, but eventually we find out he's not coming around. He's done. Vic Arena now makes Carmine Sessa the new consigliere. He knows this will make Greg happy because Carmine Sessa grew up under Greg. We grew up in the same club together for
Right,
12,
we were
15 years.
mad.
12 years, me and Carmine.
6, I've made 6.
And we did hits together, we did beatings together, you know. And here he is, he's not a consigliere. So Vic asks him now the same question he
Not
asked
even
Jimmy.
6.
Go poll the captains, see if you can get them to
6.
come over to my side. Go see Greg.
1 full bag.
He comes to see Greg. Greg starts laughing at him. He says, you see what just happened to Jimmy? He says, you're not gonna get these guys to come
All right, I
over.
got
They're relatives.
5
They
and a
don't
half
agree
bags
for 20, 30 years.
of that.
He says, it's impossible. You're gonna get clipped next. So Carmine panics now, Tessa. He puts a quick team together. If he was smart, he would have asked Greg, should we take Vic out? He probably would have said, no, not yet. But if he really wanted to take Vic out, he should have told Greg, Vic would have been dead, it would have been one. Instead, he goes and puts a team together that, for whatever reason, they were successful. Vic spotted them over 3 hours a day. Take off, and now there's an official. That lasted out
Want me to get the stick welder?
And
Stick?
East, all the number runners, like one of our number guys started to go south. Good fellow, he got home, he had a huge number, like 300,000 that came to us.
Gonna roll the
He
wheel.
Also grew up in the So once he died, Wild Bill, captain
Wild
under Vic
Bill.
Arena,
Wild
he saying,
Bill.
we're getting a little confused.
Whoa.
Decides he should
What are
take
you?
those numbers. Because
You're a
Joe
grasshopper.
was under him.
Okay, see him? He's a grasshopper.
Greg says, Counselor Ryan, you bring the numbers to us. So, send for a meeting, go meet with Wild Bill.
Oh.
We go to his club. I'll never forget it. It's Thursday night. There's 7 of us.
Grasshopper. Guys, the grasshopper just flew.
This is gonna
But we just got the welder ready because we're going to be working on this wheel. So if you guys can see, as you guys can see,
When we pulled up, I remember saying to myself, I tell you about weakness, that
it is wore down.
I'm in the front seat.
So we are going to get to welding this so then we can reuse this wheel because it still has a lot of tread on it.